Hey everyone, Bill and Carrie here with KD Treks.
Hello.
We are going to this, what is it again?
It is the gold and platinum reception. So it is, they used to have it all the time, but now it's only on cruises that are 8 nights or longer. So this cruise falls into that category. Get an invitation in your stateroom for all gold and platinum members of the Castaway Club.
So we're going to go to the Walt Disney Theater and they're going to show us.
I'm not quite sure what they're gonna do. We'll find out after, but we get drinks. They've got drinks for us.
Hello. Oh, thank you.
We got some champagne.
Oh, complimentary. Nice. Ooh. Looks like there's a decent number of people who've been invited here too.
Well, I think they said something, there's only 2,000 of us on this cruise.
You mean that are gold or platinum?
Correct.
Cheers. Can't remember the last time I had champagne. Okay. Good conversation, honey. I'm not sure what to expect here. Rumor is they either give you a sneak peek of one of the shows that they're going to show on the cruise. So that would be Aladdin or Frozen, because this is the first cruise they're going to show Frozen. Correct?
Correct.
The first cruise that they're going to show Frozen on the Fantasy.
Before we get into the presentation today, I want to introduce to you one more time a gentleman who needs no introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, please put your hands together for Captain Thorne.
As mentioned last night, this cruise we have a total of 2,650 repeaters aboard ship, and today we invited about 974 that unfortunately with this.
We have counselors right now that are working alongside counselors that they had when they were children and they sailed here on board. So there's a whole generational thing that's happening here on board that's pretty special. A special behind the scenes presentation. One of the things you don't often get to hear about is how our shows come to be. So learning a little bit more about the creative process from concept all the way through into production. So we actually happen to have a very special guest who's joining us today. He's working here on board because we're installing this wonderful new show, Frozen, for us here on board the Disney Fantasy, which opens on the final evening of the cruise. So we're really, really excited that our show producer is here. Please make some noise for him. Kelly Benton is coming to the stage.
I'm going to try to go really quickly because the second half, which I really want to be the second 2/3, is the cool part. So we're going to get to the cool part really quick. Please help me welcome Emmy Award winner, Tracy Mick Shoemaker.
Inflatable puppets, whereas the performer would wear a rig or a backpack that would support the head as well as the mechanics to operate the puppet. And then for Rex, the performer's legs would be Rex's legs, and then for Ham, the 2 front legs of Ham would be the performer's legs as well. But they were inflatables, which is something that we had never done before with puppetry.
So we're going to spend a little bit of time getting to know these guys and looking at some puppets from Frozen. So if you can please help me welcome to the stage Catherine, who plays Anna, Katie, who plays Elsa, Kevin, who plays Olaf, and the other cousin, who plays Jess. And let you see really the difference. I mean, these girls are adorable, are they not? Tracy's going to take you through kind of some of the ways that they train these guys, and you can see when her face looks rather stoic right now, right? But because of Tracy's help and the way these actresses are able to manipulate, they can do some pretty amazing things.
Okay, so I just want to go over the functions of what these guys actually have. So in order to make them walk, like I said, they're marionette style puppets. So they have strings that actually run all the way down. So when the girls tilt their heads to the right, their left leg is going to lift up. And when they tilt their heads to the left, their right leg is going to lift up. So what that is, so just show them if you were just going to tilt it like this. What actually operates their mouth is a little string that's underneath this little notch. And you can either pull on the string really hard, or you can just gradually tap it. Or you can just gradually tap it. So it's also trying to figure out like how hard do I have to press it down in order to make their eyes close all the way. In addition to their mouth, right? They can open their mouth to the biggest extent. Right? Which looks a little weird because we usually don't, unless we're getting louder, we don't usually, as people, we don't usually open our mouths that wide. So it's trying to find that nice little middle area, and then you can then accent if you wanted to open your mouth a little bit bigger or smaller from there.
Tracy, you want to layer in another one as we go? So, Kevin, why don't you bring our favorite little snowman out?
So with this one, he wears a rig around his waist that's actually helping support the puppet, his middle portion of his body, this piece over there. Like I said, I mean, he has his mouth, or what you were talking about earlier. You have your mouth, you have your eyes, you have your eyebrows, and you also have your arms. So with his arms, he can isolate one arm. So if he was going to go, yeah, like that, he can isolate one arm. Yep. He can isolate the other arm. Great. He can give a hug. One thing that you can kind of tell is that he has two little triggers here, and it's very hard to isolate those triggers. So throughout putting the show together, he has to switch hands a lot. He can use both hands, and because of how he's lip syncing and the angle that he is, he may have to use two hands. And then incorporating the eyebrows. So it was really difficult for him at first to not lip sync with his eyes and have his eyebrows lip sync as well.
So last but certainly the largest, Kevin, bring on Sven.
So one of the cool things about Sven is that he's so freaking cute. He has really great fabric that's around his neck that's super sympathetic whenever Christoph gives him little nudges and cuddles. His legs are sympathetic to the back legs of the puppet. So whenever he lifts his right leg, Sven's left leg will move, and then opposite. He has neck movement. He has head movement, up and down. He can also move his mouth. Blink his eyes. And he has ear movement. So how we've actually achieved this whole scene happening is Kevin has to actually mimic what Olaf is doing so that Kevin, the Sven performer, can see what Olaf is doing. So if we do it slowly, you can see what we're talking about. So you guys do it at your own pace. Right? So the whole challenge of that is that Sven can't see what his puppet is doing. So he actually has to watch and do it, right? So that is all that they're working their booties off, and they're so great, and I'm so proud of them, and the ability of them being able to emote and act and through the puppet, as opposed to having them be separate individuals, is just such a wonderful, wonderful feat, and I'm just so proud of you guys. It's the first thing that as soon as everybody has, if they have eye blinks and they have a mouth, it's the first thing that everybody gets whenever they get their puppet for the first time. So it's called a blink smile. And a blink smile can mean a couple of different things, okay? So I'm gonna have them demonstrate what a blink smile is. So you guys go ahead. 1, 2, 3, blink smile. Right? So that can mean that they're happy, right? Go back to neutral. So if we're going to say that they're surprised, right? So it has to be in the context of a scene, but a surprise isn't just standing still. A surprise is more of a backward feeling. So if we were going to say, do a surprised reaction with a blink smile, it would look like this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, go back to neutral. So now, if we can also be sad. Like for instance, whenever you get news that your parents are dying in prison. It can be very shocking. So if we were going to do that and have like a sad emotion, a gasp, if you will, clutching pearls at the moment, it would look like this. So a sad, blink smile. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Good. So.
And again, on on Saturday night for the big premiere of Frozen, as well as Believe on Friday night. So thank you again, guys. We really appreciate your time.
We'll see more of these wonderful performers come back tonight for Aladdin Musical Spectacular at the end of the cruise, Frozen. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a fabulous day, everybody.
And it was kind of a cool little surprise. So
Yeah.
they gave us a little behind the scenes thing. So the premiere in Frozen on those,
Saturday.
which is what, day 7 for us?
Something like that. Yeah, it's our last night.
The last night for the cruise. So they kind of showed us how the puppetry worked.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I mean, you don't think of all that goes into using those puppets, but it's crazy.
Well, originally they talked about the process because Beauty and the Beast was the example they gave because that's on the Dream, and so the concept art, you know, like the very first version wasn't the way how the second version looked, and the third version looked more like the second one, and so how it just kind of goes. Same thing with the puppets. And then they talked about the puppets for Frozen, and they didn't really show it. They didn't show any artwork or anything for Frozen. We'll find that out.
Right.
We actually saw it on.
We've seen it on The Wonder,
The Wonder,
so
it's a
it'll
good
be
show.
interesting to see the differences between the two. It's an amazing show.
Yeah, but that was a year and a half.
That was 2017, so almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see if what they've changed, what they added, or whatever for us. But no, this was a neat little thing. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that. But did you enjoy it?
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, very informative. You know, stuff. Just I like seeing behind the scenes type stuff. I'm Bill.
I'm Carrie.
And you've been watching KB Treks. Thanks for joining us. Good luck and have fun.
See ya.
Also be sad, like for instance, whenever you get news that your parents are dying in prison. It can be very shocking. So if we were gonna do that and have like a sad emotion,